I'll tell you what, Chris Egan, I'm going to be putting a lot of miles on the old super van, the gold van 85. She's going to have a lot of miles on her this weekend for some baseball action. A lot of driving down to your neck of the woods. Tacoma, Federal Way. And then is Wild Waves open yet? Can we swing in between games to a Wild Waves? When does that open up?
I'm not sure on Wild Waves, but so many great moments and memories there at Wild Waves, Puckett, through the years. The waffle cones, the smell of those being made. But then, honestly, getting in the wave pool. Getting in the wave pool as a 7th and 8th grader, where you're kind of starting to like, hey, look at her over her, and I mean, there was
my hand slipped.
There was a moment in the wave pool where we're all in there, and it's all the guys and the girls, and all the guys wanted to go on the water slides, Puck. And I still remember this. The waves kept hitting, and one young gal's top every time a wave would hit. It was close, and I'm like, I'm gonna hang here, I think, in the wave pool. And sure enough,
just to see what happened.
Sure enough, patience paid off there. That summer.
You know what? How old were you?
This is probably like 13, 14. Yeah.
Yeah.
Great memories
13,
at Wild
14.
Waves.
Just imagine this now, okay?
Yeah.
Your daughter was 13 or 14 at one point too, and there was some sicko like you sitting in that wave pool, that another deviant 253 mind.
Yeah,
thinking the same thing, and you know what? I'm right there with you.
That was a big deal back in the day to get the season pass for Wild Waves. I mean, that was a big deal. And I'm going to tell you this, Puck. I know you're going to be traveling everywhere. The roads aren't going to be great on the weekend, but these are memories you're going to miss. You're going to miss. We had our oldest play her final college tennis match, and it's just, I mean, part of me is just kind of sad knowing that we're never going to be able to watch her play.
I don't take it for granted.
Yeah,
I don't. I like to complain about it, but I don't take it for granted.
No.
Yeah, we're going to be in Federal Way for a baseball tournament. I think that's Saturday. I can look it up on my phone. Game Changer. Really, Game Changer is my new best friend and has been for years. I think I have a two-part life, Chris.
Yeah.
Pre-Game Changer life and post-Game Changer life.
Here's
post-Game Changer life, like it's a lot.
Here's the thing. As somebody that works weekends, as somebody that works from 3 to midnight, 2 to midnight, anchoring sports.
It's your best friend.
Game Changer was my best friend. But I also, Puck, I'm going to say this here on pucksports.com. I think Game Changer is also not helping the game because, number one, you have parents who are working the Game Changer. And raise your hand if you gave your kid a hit when it should have been an error. Right here. Of
course, everybody does it.
Raise your hand if your kid's pitching and you gave the fielder an error when it should have been a hit. Okay, so, and then what's the worst thing about Game Changer is these kids aren't worried about their development of skills. And it was Cal Raleigh that told me this at spring training this year, Puckett. And we went over this fact that kids are so worried about their stats on Game Changer. They finish, hey, come on, Dad, that was a hit. I should have been 3 for 4. And what are they not worried about now? They're not worried about their development. So we're seeing less kids switch hitting because nobody wants to get it out for Game Changer and ruin their batting average. And Cal Raleigh said the smartest advice he ever got was learn how to switch hit at a young age and don't worry about your batting average because in the long end of things, this will help you out when you get to high school, when you get to college. And sure enough, Cal Raleigh, in my mind right now, Puck, besides Dylan Moore, he's the MVP of this Mariners team right now.
I hear these stories of these parents, will say, so-and-so, they can't play up or they can't play on this team because, oh my God, this other team he's going to try out for or she's going to try out for, they look at the Game Changer stats. So we want to play them down because we're going to try out for this team and we want their numbers to look better. I'm just like, are you effing kidding me?
Yeah,
How about they just go to the tryout and then they just perform and then they'll see. And I don't really think the coaches are going to look at the Game Changer stats and make up their club.
No.
If they do, if some team is doing that, then you know what? You take your money elsewhere. Hey, before we dive into it, it's
Yep.
episode 119.
119, big one.
Chris Egan. It's brought to you by Fat Zach's Pizza, 3 locations: Sumner, downtown Puyallup, South Hill, home of the original No Big Dill Pickle Pizza. Voted. You can also book, I should say, there are 3 food trucks for catering, birthday parties, graduations, corporate events. Voted the best in the Sound 2 years in a row for best pizza. Find them on Facebook, Instagram, and at fatzachspizza.com.
This is busy time for them right now, Puck. This is graduation
Weddings.
parties, weddings coming up. I mean, they're busy right now.
Where are we at with the Egan wedding?
Egan wedding going smoothly. I think here's the one issue. My daughter she sent out the whole RSVP thing, and nobody seems to be saying no. And
you need some people to say no.
I would love it. I wouldn't mind a few people to be on vacation during the wedding. I'm going to be honest with you, Buck. You know, when you're 50 to 60 ahead, you know, it's.
And this is all on you. This is why you're working as much as you're working.
This is why I'll be working 18-hour days in Paris. Everybody keeps saying, "Oh, Paris, they're going to the Olympics." You wake up at 6 a.m. and you work till midnight, and then rinse and repeat. Yeah. You're live for Portland. You're live in Spokane. You're live in Boise. You're live in Seattle from sunup to sundown. I'm not complaining. I'm going to have a front row seat to the best athletes in the world. But
feels like you're complaining, though.
Well, I just feel like I'm complaining a little bit. And by the way, Puck, we're going everywhere already on this podcast. But since I mentioned the Olympics, I have to give a shout out.
Where can we watch the Olympics again? Is it on Cairo or?
It's a great question, Puck. I get asked it every day. You can watch the NBC Olympics, or actually, somebody did question me once. They said, "You know, Egan, they're not the NBC Olympics. They're actually just called the Olympics." Okay,
no, they really are just the NBC Olympics. Have they been? Hold on, in my lifetime, have they been anywhere else?
No, but somebody was saying, you know, when you're watching them, Chris, in Japan, they're not the NBC Olympics. When you're watching them in Russia,
say this about the Olympics: it's an American sport. It's our thing.
we USA, but give an interesting transition there, Puck. Josh Hawkinson, yeah. Shorewood High School.
Yeah,
Shorewood High School used to pitch, by the way, with Blake Snell. Here's a kid by everybody as we're talking. I'm kind of going everywhere. His mom and dad told me didn't play AAU basketball until he was in the 11th grade in high school. His parents wanted him to be a multi-sport athlete, was a pitcher, was better at baseball, his dad said, but his passion was basketball.
Hey, Chris, high school, where high school again?
Shorewood,
sorry.
Shorewood High School. Josh Hawkinson does not get recruited by the Washington Huskies. I think one of the first schools to offer him was Portland State, home of the Vikings, Madison Egan. But then the Cougars came calling, and Josh Hawkinson, whose mom played for the University of Washington, went over to Pullman, didn't play a lot his freshman year, got a lot of playing time his sophomore, junior, and senior year at the Washington State. To this day right now, Puck, I believe he's the all-time leading rebounder in Cougs history, has the most double-doubles in Cougs history. Thought he had a chance at the draft, did not get drafted. Got a call to go to Japan and play professionally. So he goes to Japan. He's now been playing professionally in Japan for 7 years. Interesting fact, I'm segueing to the Olympics here shortly.
If you're into the story,
if you've been in a country for 6 or more years, I know where you're going with this. You can naturalize, and he became a citizen of Japan. He learned the language. Josh Hawkinson, Washington State University, how about this, Puck, will be at the Paris Olympics playing for Japan. Game 1, they're going up against France. So Josh Hawkinson, Shorewood High School, playing for Japan, will be guarding Rudy Gobert or Wemby. That's who he's got his matchup up in Game 1.
That's okay. Yeah.
Pretty cool story, though, when you think about it.
Great story. Okay, now where do you mean?
I mean, he's been in Japan 7 years. He lives there full time. The FIBA rules are, Puck, if you leave the country for 2 or more months, you're disqualified. He had to take some rigorous testing. Yeah. He speaks the language, and he'll be playing for Japan at the Paris Olympics.
I mean, my gut, I don't like it. I haven't liked this for a long time, so I mean, I just can't. And I get it. Yeah, people come over here all the time, and then they become U.S. citizens. Like, I guess it's a different thing. Is he become a Japanese citizen? Like,
Yes, he
and
has.
he is given okay.
He has.
Because you saw this in soccer, right? I mean, remember how this is how they built the U.S. soccer team, because they built it with all of the German
International
kids.
players. Yeah.
Yeah, and then not one of them had ever grew up there.
Well,
had grown up in the United States. None of them did. They all grew up in Germany, but their fathers were in the military, and then they used it, and then they played for Team USA. I don't know, Chris. It just when Team Japan runs out on the floor against France, I go, so one of them doesn't look like the other.
In the end, I'm happy for the kid. He wouldn't have made the USA team. And so
it's probably my thing. I got to get over it.
Yeah, and I just thought you'd be happy. He's a Coug, so you could root on the Cougs, and he's got two countries rooting for him now. He's got the U.S. and Coug country.
He's got one country rooting for him. I'm not rooting for him.
Okay,
he plays on Japan.
look at you.
You want me to go through the long history of the strife between the two?
Flannel Friday.
I don't need to do it. Okay.
You might as well have an American flag running behind you right now.
I should have an American flag. We should have Hulk Hogan. I'm a real American. Fight for what's right and
those are good times. Of course they do. Ripping
Hawkinson.
the shirt off. Yeah.
Yeah, ripping the shirt off. Well,
and Caitlin,
you know what I'll say? Good for him. I mean, learn the language, adapted.
He's and you know what? He's
into it. It's pretty cool.
Making a nice living over there. He's a superstar in Japan. Can't go anywhere around there.
What does he make? Do you know what he makes?
I do not. His dad said he's doing very well, though. Yeah, I don't know what he makes, but he's doing very well. Another person doing very well, Caitlin Clark. Got a chance to interview her this week. She was at Climate Pledge.
Too, or who's she playing
for? Puck, she's actually trying to make the U.S. team, a women's team that I think is going after their ninth straight gold medal.
She's trying to make the team, Chris?
She's not officially on the roster, Puck. Breaking news. She'll be on the roster.
Rename the Olympics instead of the NBC Olympics. They can
Caitlin
just
Clark.
Rename it the Caitlin Clark Olympics. She's going to be on the team.
Yeah. Well, and
if she's not on the team, whoever puts the team together should be fired.
It would be bad PR, because what we watched this week in Seattle was absolutely amazing. 18,344 fans came out to watch a WNBA game, and I'm not even on a Wednesday night, Puckett. On a Wednesday night.
Incredible.
When they played each other last year in Indiana, 2,044 fans were in attendance. They had 18,000. The place was sold out. It was an incredible atmosphere. Obviously, there was a lot of Storm fans there. The Storm won the game. But here's what I love about this. There was somebody in our newsroom that said, this is a great story. We got to get out there, all the little girls. That's where things have changed. It's not just the little girls that want to go watch Caitlin Clark. I interviewed a lot of kids. There was just as many little boys out there that have become huge fans of Caitlin Clark, the way she plays the game, what she did at Iowa, what she will do on Team USA. It's great for the game.
She's done something, Chris, no other female athlete has done it, and she's crossed those gender lines.
100% agree.
No one's ever done it. She's the first to do it. And that's why, when you hear this criticism of Diana Taurasi and even our own Sue Bird, I shake my head at it. I'm like, this is not coming from a place.
Is it criticism or maybe a little jealousy, Puck?
Well, that's what I was going to say. It's jealousy. Yeah. It's just this absolute jealousy of her. I mean, the reason they have all these things that they're getting now is because of her. She's the reason.
Yeah.
Barkley said it the other day, and he's right. You want to know why they pushed through on that charter flight program in which they can't afford? It's because of her. That's why. And they should be, again, I don't think she wants that attention. She doesn't seem like she does.
She does Puckett, when she came into Seattle, she had a morning shoot around on Wednesday, 11 a.m. She did a press meeting there. She did a press meeting before the game at 5:25. And then she did another one after the game. And this is not, she does this wherever she goes.
The WNBA or the Fever should scale her back a little bit.
It seems like it's a lot to do two before a game.
First of all, they don't need two before the game. She doesn't even need one before the game. This is the one thing about basketball I always thought was weird. It's just like it's way too much access. Yeah. You want to do one. Okay, I get it. You want to promote her. No, so do one. Do one, cap it. the minutes and just get her out of there. I mean, because you will burn her out there to a degree, but these other players, and they're going hard at her. You see it every night.
Oh, yeah.
On screens, knocking her down.
Face Gardner from
sure.
up and down the court.
She's done a hell of a job of maintaining her composure. She hasn't lost it yet. They're testing her. They're initiating her into the league. But all of them, when they're done playing her, they don't need to say anything to her, but they should, like, little hat tip acknowledge her on the way out, because the reason people are talking about the league this year and the reason there's so much buzz is because of that young woman.
No, I mean, 18,000 fans on a Wednesday night, the largest in Storm history.
Wasn't it the largest in Climate Pledge history?
Climate Pledge history, and guess what the equation equals? Caitlin Clark is in the equation. That's why that number was so big.
It's the reason the TV numbers are up.
Yeah.
Is because of her. The draft numbers were up because of her. I tuned in to watch that game. The opening monologue from the great Richard L. Fane.
Oh, Dick Fane. Nobody gets more excited about a lay-in than Dick Fane.
No one. Super to the land!
Over first lay-in for Super!
Jackson with a putback.
Betty Lennox, what a 10-foot jumper!
With a bounce pass.
Elise Woodward, I chatted earlier today with Tony Bellavacqua.
Elise Woodward. We call you Elise Nemhart. Was it Nemhart? Was that her maiden name?
Was that her name at UW? I can't remember.
Yeah.
Boy.
And here's Elise was there too. No, I'm just joking. I love Elise. No, but when I tuned in, the first 5 minutes, and rightfully so, this is not a criticism of them, the first 5 minutes was just all about her. It had nothing to do. The opening monologue had nothing to do with the Storm. If you tuned in, you would think they were at a Fever game. The Fever were the home team.
Well, you can't ignore it, and we saw that this year in the NFL, Puckett, when one of the stations tried to ignore Taylor Swift's presence. You can't. She's bigger than that. I mean, you have to acknowledge
they made the schedule around her this year.
Yeah, I mean, and you saw the Super Bowl. They weren't dumb. The more shots at Taylor, the more eyes are on the TV, and that's good for everybody.
Called marketing, you bozos.
Yeah, I mean, we're hopeful that Taylor Swift maybe dumps Kelsey and starts dating an Olympic athlete right before Paris. I mean, it would be
hopefully Josh Hawkinson. What a power couple that would be, huh?
That would be. It's amazing, Puck. You and I, as we talk about this, have been so happily married for so long. I had a little pet peeve, and I want to see if this is a pet peeve for you. And I've mentioned this to my wife for many years now, and just continues, like she just ignores me on this one. We have two little hangers for our towels. So when we go in the shower, there's always two towels, and she likes fresh towels. But my point is, if you're going to take the towels out of the bathroom, replace them. Because our fresh towels are upstairs. So if I take a shower, I always like a towel there. Here we are.
Fair.
2 days ago, Puckett, I jump in the shower quick, head to work, come out, and there's no towels. This is 10 years going on this, Puck. Now, I mean, well, you want fresh towels? I go, yes, I want fresh towels, but leave one for me. Just leave a towel.
If it's a little dirty and it's got a little,
Now I got to run through the house naked, water's everywhere, just to get a towel.
Yeah.
And it doesn't seem like a lot to ask, does it, Puck?
The neighbors don't want to see it. Yeah,
no.
I understand that. Our big gripe in our household is the way I load the dishwasher.
The way you load the dishwasher.
Yeah, I don't load it properly. I'm kind of very disorganized. I just kind of throw things in there, and my wife plays like a game of Tetris with it, and she's really very good at it. But I get a lot of, when she's not around and I'm loading it, I get if I come home and I'm somewhere in the other room, I can just hear a lot of the, Jesus Christ, God, every day, every time I come home, and just can't put the cups here, can't put the plates here. Why does it even do it? I don't even know. Just leave them in the sink.
Do you ever get yelled at for trying to start it before it's completely full?
Oh, probably.
Yeah, you're going to start that?
I
There's
just
room.
don't
There's room
need
for
a-
more.
I just don't like having. This is for my German mother. I don't like having dishes in the sink, so we got to clean like at night.
Yeah.
Like I can't have them the next day sitting there.
No, I'm with you.
They got to be put away nonstop.
And I'm with you. It doesn't matter how they get in there, long as they're in there. My big complaint, Puck, is we're just starting to. It's just getting worse here at the Egan household. I mean, this one just showed up.
Jesus, man. You got to get her some help on the pillows, man.
And then how about this one? How about this one, Puck? And for everybody that missed Puck and I talking about this, I love my wife. I think she's the #1 realtor in the state of Washington, hardest working woman around right now. If you need a good realtor, go to my wife. But she loves her pillows, and this one
looks like a dog.
Yeah, we have like 16 pillows.
What is it like?
I don't even know what this one does, but this is. I think it's a decorative pillow. I think, Puck.
Jesus. If anybody, I'm looking into the camera. If anybody knows a place where Melanie Egan, family is everything. I mean, the people at Fred Meyer, when they see her walk in and they go to the home section, they're thinking about taking a smoke break. But when they see Melanie Egan roll in, there's no smoke break for them because they know Daddy's about to get paid. Hey, Melanie's here. Hey, guys, chop, Melanie's here. Let's round up our best stuff. And then she probably sits down on one of the couches there with a glass of bubbly, and they parade all the new signs out for her.
You know what, Puck? If I could go back to 1998 when I graduated PLU and you're over at Wazoo, I wish we would have called each other and say, you know what? Hey, let's get together. Let's start up a company where we just make little signs. All right, what are we doing today, guys? How about family is everything? Bingo. Let's go with it. Let's go with it.
Pray.
What else have we got? Anybody? Let's hold off on love you to the moon and back until tomorrow. But let's call today. Let's go golfing, everybody. We got families, everything today.
What we need to, you know what we should do? And someone's probably already done it. We need to just make like a Neanderthal guy
sign. Yeah. Like
eat, scratch balls, nap. Beer, fart in hand, scratch ass.
Go to the backyard, talk to your assistant coach about Little League Baseball for 2 hours.
Yeah, no, there you go. Yeah.
Did I ever tell you that story? My wife.
No, it was like, what is it? It was family is everything, right? Is that
what
it said? Yeah. What is that?
Change stats on Game Changer so Son has better batting average.
That is everything, right? God, I just had something in my head. It was going to be a good one. It was going to be a good one.
Buy extra peanut butter so you can dip Kit Kat bars.
Man sweats are everything. Yeah, that's what we need to make those signs, and we can put those up everywhere, and then we can see how they react.
Yeah. I mean, why not? But who knew you could just write basic thoughts and become a millionaire just selling signs?
A story about backyard assistant coach?
Oh, no, this was in my Little League days. And at one point...
When you're playing or coaching?
Coaching. And, after the game, it's still fresh in your mind. So I would go to the backyard because I didn't want everybody to hear what I was talking about, and I would spend an hour talking to the assistant coaches. And my wife literally was just like... I think she was getting frustrated. Like, who are you talking to? Do you have a girlfriend out there? I mean, what are you doing?
What are you guys going over game strategy?
And we literally would sit in the back. I would sit in the backyard and just go over. We shouldn't have had him batting second. We should. And this parent.
Johnny's been hitting 11th all year. Should we move him up? God no, Jesus.
This guy can't throw a strike, and we pulled him, and his dad was not happy.
Oh, yeah. You know what I can't get over? And we don't do this, and I made this like the day one since we started coaching. and something tells me that you actually do this, so you're going to take offense to it.
That's all right.
I witnessed the longest, not a team we played against, it was another team on another field. I witnessed the longest post-game coach meeting in the history of post-game coaches meetings. It was so long, Chris Egan. It was so goddamn long that I think we were in the fourth inning of our game, which went 6, by the way. And I have stopped paying attention to our game. I've stopped calling signs. I've stopped calling pitches, all of it, because I'm looking over across the field going, when I'm going to swear here, so sorry. When's this motherfucker going to wrap up? Like, when is he going to wrap it up? Because if I'm
Was it me?
No, but I'm like, if I'm that parent right now, and they lost, and we lost, let's go. Like, we don't need 30 minutes of you to break down a game. And so we never do it. Like the game gets over.
Okay.
I tell him, get your stuff out of the dugout fast as you can, clean the dugout out. Then we award the golden plunger because we're official plumbing.
Yep.
We award the golden plunger to the player of the game. We get our snacks. We're out. No coaches meetings. I do not understand the 20-minute post. Fellas, let's grab your bags.
I'm going to defend.
The dugout. Hold on, because I know you do this. We're going to meet left. Okay, before you go, we're going to meet left field. We're going to break it down. Break what down? What are you going to break down? It's Little League. They don't want to listen to you at all. Shut up. It's God.
So I would like to say I'm the master of the post-game speech, Puck. Yes, I am guilty. I'm not going to sit here on this podcast, pucksports.com, and tell you that I run a quick post-game speech.
What's the longest one?
Oh, I've had long ones. And it is, Puck, you know what? Here's how bad it is probably with me is the assistant coaches won't say anything because they know I'm going to go long. So they'll just be very quick. But I like to give my assistants a chance to go.
Eyes up on coach. Eyes up on coach.
Always eyes up. Come on. And I always sit there and go, when the assistant coaches are talking, like, Johnny, eyes on coach. Eyes on coach now. If you're going to go to high school, you got to have the eyes on the coach. The parents have figured me out. They know it's going to be long. So if they're in for another activity, I'll usually get the text, hey, Chris, Billy's got a sisters game to get to. If we could grab him right away. they know the speech is coming. Here's my problem. I give everybody on the team a shout out. So I'll go through everybody on the team and talk about how they kind of help contribute to the victory.
Yeah, but half the time you got to lie because you can't have something to say.
That's true. There's a few of them I get to and I'm like, how about little
great high five coming out of that dugout.
Hey, Lonnie was just hustling today. It was probably your best hustle game we've had all season.
Great team. Yeah, great teammate. Great team. Hey, Johnny, great team. Great team effort today. Really love how you stayed in there and didn't jump out of the box this time. God, man. Don't be that coach.
I can't. No, I already am.
Speech coach.
I'm 23 years of post-game speeches. I'm not going to stop now, Puck. I'm not going to stop.
It's who you are.
And you know what? And to this day, I still have kids coming up to me like, "Oh, Coach Chris." I had a kid just 2 days ago. He gave me a hug. I hadn't coached him probably for 8 years. I remember I'd be at Bellarmine Prep senior night. It was our King 5 big game of the week. I'm out there live. The kid, before he gets to his parents, he stops and hugs me. He goes, "Coach Chris, you remember me from 7th grade?" I'm like,
and he's like, "I wish you were my dad."
Oh man.
Yeah, God, I remember what
I've cried Puckett after some post games.
Yeah, I bet you. I mean, have you've yelled, right?
I've yelled.
Or is it usually positive?
It's usually no. I cried after we lost in the State Cup of Soccer.
Okay.
I lost in a shootout, and I just that was an emotional ending for me.
Okay.
I have never been kicked out of a game. I've got a couple warnings, but the best one was I did once drop an F-bomb at a ref. And
in soccer?
This was basketball. 2 bad calls in a row, just horrid calls.
How old?
This is last summer. This is a couple 13-year-olds. Just 2 awful calls. And so
There's
I dropped.
there's a guy that you'll do a piece this fall about how there's a lack of officials in sports.
And I've never done it in 23 years. And there were some other things going on in my life, that were pretty emotional, but I just lost it. And the ref comes over to me and he goes,
"Everyone has a bad day."
And I was having a bad day, and I have since apologized to both officials on the court, and I explained the situation. But they come over and they said, that's going to be a warning, Mr. Egan. And my assistant coach goes, he doesn't help the cause. He goes, you know why they're giving you a warning? Because they know they're wrong. He goes, they would kick you out of here if they were right.
Yeah. F you, man.
And so I still remember that game because then I had having a bad day. We ended up losing at the last second. And here's the worst. For every parent, I had a parent on the other team try to come over to me after the game and explain how the calls were right.
Oh, geez.
Don't need it. Just not the time.
Oh,
you know what?
God.
Email me later on in the night.
Don't email me. Don't do anything. It's not your place. Shut up.
It was
Get in your car. Go to Chili's or wherever the post-game dinner is at.
Not needed.
Okay.
Don't.
No.
Any parent listening,
God.
don't ever go tell another coach about how a call. Just let them be. Just let them. You know what?
Let
apologize.
Chris have his 45-minute post-game speech.
Yes.
Now we had a game earlier this year, and I'm not.
Real quickly with this one, and I'll let you go. But have you ever done this when how many times have you done this one, Puck? You're giving your post-game speech, and the refs are kind of near you. I literally went here, Puck. I'm going, sometimes, guys, you're just not going to get the calls in life.
The guy's right back, tapping you on the shoulder. Hey,
He's
coach,
right.
just want to say good game again. These poor guys, they make no money. It's volunteer. And some TV guys dropping F-bombs on them. And a 10-year-old's flipping off another kid in the Little League game. They don't need it. They don't need any of it.
Get rid of Puckett and Egan. Oh, my goodness.
So
All right.
We had a Little League game, and this is... And we're playing a team from Queen Anne. And so with game's over, we win. And we decided that game we would do pizzas afterwards. We had a bunch of pizzas. We're hanging out there. Parents got some beers. It's a nice night and all that kind of stuff. Chris, I'm not exaggerating on this one. And then we know some of the kids because I think they played club ball together. So one of their parents was over by us hanging out. And this post-game chat this coach has got is going, it's 30 minutes. We have gone through 3 boxes of pizza. I'm on my second beer. And I'm looking over and I go, and I say to the parents around me, I go, see, this is why you should thank me, because I don't do any of this. I don't care if we win or lose, but we don't do that. And then right in front of me was one of the parents from the other team. He kind of looks around and goes, well, I mean, they're just working on some stuff. I go, it's 30 minutes. What is he telling them right now?
A lot of life lessons, Puck. A lot of life lessons I'm sharing with the kids.
I know. It's...
I did give my basketball team this year, and I think the kids are taking it. I've learned this through another podcast I was watching.
Okay, good.
It was a very successful business person, and he says, if he's ever having a down moment, he goes to a little 3-ring binder in his office. It was a little binder that his 7th grade basketball coach gave him with John Wooden's Pyramid of Success.
Yeah.
So this year for basketball, I gave every one of my kids a binder, John Wooden's Pyramid of Success, and we started on the bottom of the pyramid and worked our way up, and we talked about every word, and cool. So every one of those kids has that little binder now, and so they take that with them. Sometimes we would talk maybe too much about the words after the game, and Coach Chris didn't know the definitions of all the words. so that's where sometimes the speeches get a little long.
Oh, Jesus.
My favorite though is sometimes these kids, I love them to death, but sometimes I'll take like an 80s movie that I know they don't know anything about, and I'll use that. I'm like, guys, this reminds me of the time this group of people had to take this ring, and they had to take the ring to a volcano because the ring was causing issues, and they're literally all like glued on to me like,
They don't know what you're talking about, old man.
and they came together, and oh boy, and the Mariners, first place still. It was on this podcast where I said, "Don't panic, don't push the button, everybody."
Yeah, don't panic, but they're limping right now. But it's you're right. They're right.
Bullpen's not great. Julio Rodriguez had 1 hit in 4 games against the Yankees. Superstars got a hit. We saw Aaron Judge. He hit. He's got 15 home runs now. So we need a little bit more from Julio. But
he'll be there. He'll get going. He'll get going. All right, we'll wrap it up. That was a good one.
That flew by today.
It did fly by, man.
I'm not saying that others go long, but today flew by pretty good.
Fat Zach's Pizza every Friday. Chris Egan, FatZachsPizza.com, episode 119 in the books. Thank you, Chris.
Family's everything, everybody.